morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Data gathered by a team of journalists from all over the world indicates hundreds of millions of dollars from offshore accounts in the Caribbean and Europe are now being funneled through South Dakota. The Pandora Papers, as they're being called, show foreign politicians and millionaires are hiding their money in South Dakota because of the state's secretive trust laws.
Gary Kallman, the executive director of Transparency International, says South Dakota's secretive trust laws only benefit a small portion of the state's economy. We asked him if the South Dakota trust companies are doing anything wrong.
They're not doing anything illegal, if that's what you mean. I think if you ask the average person who goes to work and earns a salary and pays taxes on that salary, whether privileged individuals should be able, just by the nature of being able to set up through certain legal arrangements with a lawyer, hiding money that would otherwise be taxable, to have that not taxed, would at the least call that unfair.
There are 106 licensed trusts in South Dakota, and many serve a useful purpose. But Kallman says laws that allow secrecy around those trusts have very little benefit to the average hardworking South Dakotan. He hopes South Dakota will rethink its trust laws. A special session will get underway next month in Pierre. Lawmakers will investigate whether Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg committed any impeachable acts in the crash that killed Joe Beaver last year. Senate President Pro Tem Lee Schoenbeck has released the names of the senators who support the proceedings. They include 3 Democrats and 24 Republicans.
Meanwhile, House Speaker Spencer Gosh has said he doesn't plan to release names of representatives who supported the petition. You can find the list of senators on our Capitol News Bureau page on KELOLAND.com. Crews are continuing to battle a grass fire that's burning 5 miles north of Rapid City. The Auburn grass fire was reported around 1:30 yesterday afternoon and has grown to around 250 acres. FEMA is authorizing the use of federal funds to help battle the Auburn fire. That money will pay 75% of the state's eligible firefighting costs.
According to the Meade County Sheriff's Office, the fire is 0% contained. The Rapid City Fire Department says it expects to have an update later this morning.
Now let's send it over to meteorologist Brian Karstens in the Storm Center for the latest on those fire conditions in western KELOLAND. Good morning, Brian.
Yes, good morning. Indeed, fire weather concerns remain high western South Dakota. Temperatures alone really contributing to that. Upper 80s and low 90s are ahead. 88 in Rapid City, 90 degrees in Phillip. Sioux Falls, by contrast, here at 76, but still much above the averages. We'll take a closer look at Futurecast and the rest of the update coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. The Stockyards Ag Plaza is closer to becoming a reality after receiving a $1.5 million gift from Denny Sanford and First Premier Bank. Not only does this mean that they can complete the project in just one phase, but they'll also be able to name it after its founder, Jim Wooster.
The plaza will offer visitors with a hands-on experience that will educate them about modern farming and where their food comes from.
We need to be in a position as agriculture, particularly production agriculture, to tell that story about here's what the farm and ranch family do every single day to make sure that you've got that box of Wheaties on the table, or you've got that pork chop on your plate, or whatever it is. And that's what we're going to be able to really do so well.
The plaza will include a play farmhouse, pens for livestock, and play structures that will tie into the agricultural industry.
A first-year food competition in downtown Sioux Falls is set to crown its first champion.
The Downtown Pork Showdown ran from September 3rd through the 30th. The winner will be announced at 10 o'clock this morning. That is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather today. Well, a sample of what we're watching in weather, dry humidity. Look at this. The numbers this afternoon in Rapid City. Relative humidity gets down to 16%. And look at Buffalo, 10% humidity. That means we've got to be extra careful with fire concerns. Obviously, too, today, even Sioux Falls, a little drier, but a lot more, at least compared to Rapid City, it's a lot more humid. But even Sioux Falls will be down compared to where it was. Look at that fire from late yesterday. That's our time-lapse photography. And so hopefully today that will improve, but we just need to be mindful of the conditions. The Futurecast update reflecting those temperatures soaring into the 80s already by the lunch hour. Rapid City, 1 o'clock, 87. I think Sioux Falls will be behind that. But yesterday we were very efficient at warming, so I wouldn't be surprised if we outperform the going highs a little bit today. I do expect a lot of 80s west of the James Valley, and tomorrow more of the same. The difference tomorrow, though, increasing clouds in Iowa and Minnesota, and eventually that could ripen up for a couple of sprinkles or showers. We've got a disturbance to our southeast. We're kind of watching that, maybe clipping our southeastern counties, but much better chance of showers and thunderstorms this weekend. More on that in a moment. 83 today in Pierre Phillip. Look at that temperature, 90 degrees this afternoon. I think Sioux Falls will enter the picture as rain chances by Saturday. Not a washout day, but maybe some scattered rain with a high of 78 and then 60s by Sunday and Monday. Now that's behind the system, which will cool down. Aberdeen, also a good chance of rain Saturday. That should be moving out of the picture by Sunday. Next week, beyond the 7-day forecast, there's going to be a much more substantial storm, but a lot of questions on exactly the track of that and how that positions across Kendallland will make a big difference on the actual weather that we experience. But I would prepare for next week to be more volatile. It's going to be much different than what we're seeing this week, which is pretty steady weather. Upper 70s and 80s, Pierre and Rapid all the way through Friday. The weekend will deliver some rain chances, much needed for Rapid City. Check out the details with our weather forecast online at KENDALLAND.com. Have a great day.